Let's talk about Tank Davis' interview with Yaughty. I believe that's his name, Yaughty. I'm not too familiar with the guy, guys. I'm a little older. I'm a little bit older than y'all. Some of y'all, anyway. But let's talk about it. The Truth and Absolute channel. We are going live. It is Saturday morning. Oh, man. Did you have your coffee already? Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Let's talk about it. Looks like we got one thumbs up. Who's in here, yo? What up, what up? Who we got in here? We'll let a few people get in here and then we'll talk about it. Pancho Villa, what's good, brother? How you doing, man? Welcome to the rare Saturday morning live, bro. I think this is the first time I go live on a Saturday morning. Any type of morning. Joseph, what's good, bro? How you doing, good sir? I just finished watching the interview with Tank Davis on that Lil Yachty. I don't even know the name of the podcast, man. I saw the whole interview, though, and I kind of wanted to talk about it, man. So we'll let some people get up in here. Gilbert, what's good, bro? Gilbert's always showing up, man. Actually, all you guys are always showing up to the lives, really. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys, man. You guys got your cup of coffee, man? I'm asking y'all, but I actually got to pour my third cup now. Glad to hear you good, bro. Bulldog, what's going on, good sir? Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Hit that live. Oh, yeah, Chimmy's. He's saying, I got my coffee ready. He's asking, where is mine? Boxing Sage. Boxing Sage says, good morning, Truth. It's perfect timing on my 3-mile run right now. Gosh, 3 miles, bro? God bless you, bro. Goodness. Carlos Pena, what's good, bro? Welcome to the live, good sir. Hopefully we get a lot of people in here. Normally when I go in at, 8 p.m. at night, not everybody could be there just because everyone's in different time zones. But heck yeah, man, I'm hoping to get a good turnout today, and let's talk about it, man. I'm going to talk about what I liked about the interview and not necessarily what I did not like, but my takeaways from the interview, man. Espresso like a coffee IV. I had 2 cups of like some for real coffee, man. I'm a coffee guy. I'm a coffee guy. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, no, Pancho, you always show up, bro. I always see you in the comment section and stuff, bro. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, man, I do that for real coffee, man. The coffee cannot be see-through. If you hold it up in the air like that, you can't be able to see through it. It can't look like dark tea. It has to look, it has to look damn near like tar. That's the real coffee way, you know what I mean? Okay, man, so let's get right into this one, man. So first off, man, just going off of the interview itself, man, in my personal opinion, let me see, Ashy Knuckles. Yeah, Ashy Knuckles. So from what I'm hearing, man, it was I don't want to walk too away from the Tank interview just yet, but to answer your question, from what I hear, it was just marijuana which she popped dirty for. To my knowledge right now, and I didn't go deep searching, I saw that she pretty much dropped dirty for weed. Is what I saw, which is not a PED by no means. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to enhance your performance by any means at all. You know what I mean? So, let me see. Boxing says, I used to like black coffee like I liked my women. I drink my coffee black too, brother. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing, man. That's it, man. Anyway, man, so the interview, what I liked about it, man. Now, I'm a dad too. I know a lot of you guys, if not all you guys, are parents as well. So Tank is a likable guy. You know what I'm saying? And this is one thing that I didn't want to get anybody twisted, man, because I do make my videos. I am critiqueful of Tank Davis inside that ring. You know what I'm saying? What he does outside the ring with his family, what he chooses to do, that's none of my business. I mean, in his kids' lives, I mean, hey, that's all we could ask of any father. Big up to the father that step up to the plate to raise their kids, So there's a lot of positive. I mean, there's nothing I disliked about the interview. I'll give my takeaways, but it's not disliking, When Tank talked about, he bought his old block, to make it affordable housing and all that, we cannot hate on him for that, right? The fact that he's not too flashy anymore. Obviously, once upon a time, I'm pretty sure that we could all relate. is if you when you just got money, if you've never had money, you might be a little bit flashy at first. You know, you might want to make it be known for a small period, like, yeah, I do got money. Like, check out what I'm doing, check out what I'm eating. You know what I'm saying? Look where I'm hanging out tonight. You know, so I like the fact that he humbled himself as far as not being too flashy, having to throw it out there that much. You know what I'm saying? It's showing that he's not insecure when it comes to that. You know, when he was talking about opponents, I like when he gave everyone their props. You know, I like when he was asked about Lomachenko that he said that he doesn't think that Lomachenko was scared to fight him, which I think we could all agree that none of us should think that Lomachenko was scared to fight Tank Davis because of Lomachenko's track record. It doesn't quite say that, and I'm glad that Tank didn't come out and say, yeah, he retired because he didn't want to fight me. Okay, so I respect that a lot. It was like a 40-minute interview. I wish I could remember every single thing. Nonetheless, Tank is a really, really likable guy, man. He really is, man. He's obviously a very influential person. That's what I noticed in the interview, is that Tank Davis, he has such a great following, right? Which is a positive thing, a very positive thing. But I see now that when it comes to Tank Davis, it's more of a, I don't want to call him an influencer because he's a professional boxer, damn it. He gets inside that ring, he does his thing, you know what I'm saying? But as far as, I think people like Tank's character. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you could make a movie from Tank Davis, you know, from rags to riches type. You know, you could definitely go that route with the Tank Davis. You know, he started from the bottom. He worked his way up. You know, he didn't have his parents, all of the above. He grew up fighting on the streets. You know, he talked about on there how he felt that he had to look out for people around him before he had money, right? Before he had money. So when you look at the story, if they made a movie about it, it'd be a great, great movie. For sure, it'd be a great movie. You cannot take away from that. Yeah, so, you know, I won't knock him for that. You know, there's a lot of positive to be said. Some takeaways of mine from the interview, and it's because you cannot have it both ways. Okay, and what I mean by that is, in that interview, I saw Tank Davis kind of incorporate his past, his struggles, what he did to come up in the box, not even just in the boxing game, but just in life in general, because he's been boxing since he was 7 years old. So he's obviously given the time to the sport for sure. One thing that threw me off is when he said, being that where he came from, okay, being his past in Baltimore, growing up in the tough, you know, situations, conditions that he did, to where he is now, that he felt that that put him on the level of a Floyd Mayweather, of a Sugar Ray Leonard, and so forth. Now, that's the part where I'm not only going to disagree, I'm going to highly disagree, because one does not compare to another one. And this is why I say that. Everybody has a past. Okay, everybody has a past, and it's a beautiful story. You know, you salute all of those things. You definitely give credit where credit's due, and you know, good for you, good for you. However, just because you came up from a certain background, just because you had it hard coming up, just because, you know, you had so many obstacles put in front of you and you got to where you are now in the boxing game, that does not translate into you being on the level of a Floyd Mayweather and a Sugar Ray Leonard. Okay, that would be one of the takeaways from this. Now, it's not hating, okay? Some of you may agree, you may disagree, whatever. Okay, but I'm just calling it how it is. And the reason that I'm saying that, man, is because in the game of boxing, you know, it's an individual sport. It's not like the NBA. You know, when we look at the NBA, okay, and we think of great players that never got a championship, okay, you think about the Patrick Ewings, you think about the Charles Barkleys, okay, you think about, let me see, who else? I mean, I could go on and on. There was a whole era of great players and there's been great players that never got a ring. The difference is, in basketball in the NBA, you're not just matched up against somebody, right? You don't beat this person, then you're matched up. You see who's doing what. You know, there's different belts now, there's different weight classes which are not far apart, and you get a lot of pull. When you get to a level of a Tank Davis, you're able to have anyone from 135 to 140 inside that ring if you ask for it, right? Of course, he has people that handle him. Of course, he has people that are around him that are going to advise him to do this or to not do that. You know, I get that. But in sport, we've seen too many fighters, like a Floyd Mayweather, for example. You know, a lot of people tend to remember the last part of the second half, I like to call it, of Floyd Mayweather's career. You know, I see it in 3 stages for Floyd Mayweather. There was Floyd Mayweather all the way up until he fought Oscar De La Hoya. After Oscar De La Hoya, he pretty much went from Pretty Boy Floyd to Money Mayweather. Now, that's the one that everyone paid to watch lose. After he finished that run and he finished his whole deal with Showtime, remember that was a huge deal at that time. After that, it became the celebrity fighter Floyd Mayweather, you know? So I see it in 3 different stages. Nonetheless, if you look at Floyd's resume to get to the De La Hoya fight, just to simply get to that fight, you will see a great, great career. Okay. You know, you will see like, damn, you talk about jumping through the trenches. Floyd Mayweather had to do everything to get to the level where he was at. You look at his resume, he fought everybody. You can nitpick and say he didn't fight this person or that person, but at the end of the day, Floyd just, if you go far back, man, he did that. So we cannot substitute, you know, what these fighters go through. And there's been a lot of fighters like that. Oscar De La Hoya. I mean, you could go up and down the list to who these people have fought in. Marquez, Pac-Man. You could go up and down to get to that level that Tank Davis is talking about. What you cannot do, and if that's the case, you know, you could take like a Manny Pacquiao who also has a rough backstory. Hell, a lot of these fighters do, and say, well, because my story is this puts me in the GOAT conversation. One does not translate to another, and that's simply my thing with it, right? And this is talking about outside the boxing ring. We cannot put you there. So I'm totally with, listen, dads are important, okay? Us as dads, fathers, we are so important to our kids' lives, as our mothers, okay? But we are important. So I'm not hating on the fact that he wants to step away from the game to raise his kids. I salute him for that. You know what I'm saying? I applaud him. All of the above. God bless his soul, right? But you cannot have it both ways. And what I mean by that is you can't choose to retire with who you fought. And even with the Lamont Roach fight coming up, right? You cannot choose to retire here and think that your background story all of a sudden elevates you to the level of a Floyd Money Mayweather, as an example. You know what I mean? That's one where I don't see it. That's why I don't see it at all. You know what I mean? So you cannot have it both ways. I salute you for this, but it doesn't automatically put you here. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when you're talking to somebody, right? It's kind of like when you're talking to somebody and they say, oh, well, and like they give an excuse, right? Oh, you know, yeah, I didn't train as much when I was younger because I didn't have the proper gloves that you need to have and this and that. You know, you kind of just make stuff happen, right? You just kind of do stuff. If you want it bad enough, you will do it. Tank Davis is 30 years old. Yeah, he's been in the sport 23 years because obviously since he was a little kid. But at the end of the day, we cannot put him up there with those other great fighters because he has not put in that work. You stayed right here putting the work in, and we give you that. But there was another level that you could have gotten to, and he chose not to, which, by all means, he made his money, wants to raise his kids, God bless him. But we don't induct you into the high level of the Hall of Fame for those reasons. You know what I mean? Another thing, and let me just say something about Yachty, okay? I'm not too familiar with this guy. Is it Yachty, Lil Yachty? I'm not sure, right? I'm not sure. I really don't know. However, he's a really good interviewer. He asked the right questions. He could have asked more, but he also could have asked less. I think that he did a good job asking the questions of what we want to know about. So this is another thing. They brought up, obviously, Turkish Al-Sheikh, who, you know, obviously is kind of taking over the boxing game. Now, there's some things about Turkey that are about Turkey that I agreed with Tank Davis on, but then there's some things that kind of threw me off at the same time. Now, let me get into that one. When he was talking about Turkey, he said he didn't like the fact that Turkey was not really a boxing guy. He just kind of came into the game, just kind of throwing money around. You know, he did this right here, Tank Davis. And we've talked about that, and I've made myself very vocal about that. I agree. I still don't see Turkey as the biggest boxing fan, you know? Like his dream as a little kid was to be this boxing, you know, do stuff in the sport. I don't see it, right? I really don't see it. I see a man with a lot of money that could pretty much do whatever the hell he wants in the world of entertainment, not just boxing, but he doesn't strike me as a boxing guy. And some of his dream matchups that he's making now kind of tell that story. But he was asked about, you know, why didn't he go over there and this and that? Why didn't he join that? So they brought up the Devin Haney fight. Now, I would have loved to see Tank Davis versus Devin Haney. I'm sure a lot of you guys would have liked to see that. Aztec, what's good, brother? A lot of us would have liked to see that, no, without a doubt, right? We would have loved to see that fight. His excuse for not fighting, you know what I'm saying, Devin Haney, because of Turkish Al-Sheikh, to me, I'm going to call cap on that, okay? I don't like that. And the excuse that he gave was that when he was offered that fight, he didn't like how they came at him, being that Devin was Turkey's boy. Okay, and that's where he pulled up. They got to give him 2 Ferraris, and then he turned it into 3 or 4 in order to fight him, because how Tank saw it, they were setting Tank up to lose to Devin Haney unless he knocked him out. Now, you guys probably saw this on Showbiz, and obviously I did too, but that doesn't make sense, because if you've been following, right, the sport, you see that Turkey has had his favorites along the way. Like I always said, it was Turkey and Crawford, like a double team, calling out Canelo for like a year now. Okay, that flew over a lot of people's heads, but that's how it's been working. Obviously, Turkey has a special relationship with Terence Crawford. If you saw the rematch between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk, since before the fight, you saw that Turkey was pulling on Fury to win because they wanted to make that trilogy. Okay, Fury ended up losing that fight. Okay, and Usyk won a clear victory, but it wasn't a one-sided fight to where you could say, yeah, there's no way you could cheat it. Listen, if you got that type of money, you can make any fight go the way that you wanted to go, and he did not. The same thing with Bivol Beterbiev. Same thing with Bivol Beterbiev. Turkey thought Bivol won that fight, okay? And again, if he thought he won that fight, means he was rooting for him, he could have right into the victory as well, and he didn't do that, okay? So that excuse I'm not with, okay? I'm not totally with that excuse. I don't know. I'm not going to say Tank Davis is scared of Devin Haney, okay? I'm not going to say that, because for a boxer to say any boxer is scared, these guys go into the ring, you know what I'm saying? These guys go into the ring ready to fight, you know what I'm saying? So I don't see him being scared of him, but that's not a good excuse to not fight him, because you were going to get paid, right? It would have been an even playing field, because to my knowledge, Tank Davis, Mr. Abdul Wahid, and Devin Haney are as the same faith as Turkey. Not to turn it into that, but there's not much separation there. The bigger star of the two would be Tank Davis. So I don't know how that would kind of translate into Armin, what's good, bro? Into, Turkish Al Sheikh having favor over Devin Haney and trying to set Tank up for a loss. At the end of the day, we got to remember that Turkey is obviously a business guy. Excuse me. He's obviously a business guy looking to make big fights happen. So far, that's what I've seen in his fights. And honestly, in every fight that he's made so far, I haven't seen no robberies. I haven't seen no robberies on a Riyadh card, on a Turkish Al Sheikh card. I haven't seen it yet. Okay, people go back and forth on the Madrimov Terence Crawford. I don't think that was a robbery. I think Terence pulled off a close fight. He didn't quite look like how we thought he was going to look against Madrimov. Nonetheless, he got the W. All right. Now, this is another thing that I got to give it to. This is where we got to stay consistent to. In Tank Davis' eyes. So now we know in boxing, styles make fights. Okay. Just because you beat one guy and he beat the guy that they want you to fight does not automatically mean that you get the W over the whole trio. We've seen that in the past. I'll give a quick example like I've done in the past. Sugar Shane Mosley beat Oscar De La Hoya, who beat Ricardo Mayorga, who beat Vernon Forrest, who beat Sugar Shane Mosley. Styles make fights. Just because you beat one guy does not mean that you're going to beat the next guy, or that we're just going to give you an imaginary W over the guy that you beat. It doesn't work like that. So when Tank gave the example of he beat Ryan Garcia, right? A drained Ryan Garcia that beat Devin Haney, it does not automatically mean like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. You beat Ryan, who beat the crap out of Haney. Therefore, it's like you beat Haney too. No. To me, that's kind of like when we made a stat for LeBron James that just because he's been to the finals 10 times, that all of a sudden we should celebrate it. It doesn't quite work like that in the real world. Okay. So I don't want to come across like a hater of no fighter. Okay. I'm just calling it how it is. And we got to remain consistent. We got to remain consistent on this matter. So what I gather from it is that one thing I'll say for sure is that what's his name? Tank Davis is definitely an influential person to a large community. So when these people look at Tank Davis, I think that they more like Tank Davis outside the ring. They like the fact that he's a boxer, don't get me wrong, but it's more of his story, how he carries himself, the rags to riches story on why he has such a big following. And that's why a lot of his following is content with the career that Tank has had. Okay, that's why with the career he's had, they don't mind putting him up there with the bigger fighters that have accomplished a lot more in the sport, because they just like Tank regardless. Tank could retire now, they're going to have him up here. He could not fight nobody else for the rest of his career, they're still going to elevate him up here. They're fans of Tank Davis. They're fans of Gervonta Davis, not Tank Davis comes second to that, if that makes sense. Now, let me hear your thoughts on this. The Martin 9400, what's good, bro? Jonathan says, watch Keyshawn about to be the spotlight at 135, and Tank will be left in the shadow at least for a year. Not sure how long Keyshawn will keep killing his body to make weight. Yeah, Keyshawn's definitely a big 135 pounder. Let me see. Daisy Sanchez, what up? 170K, no way. No, how definitely less than 100. Shoot, I don't know what y'all talking about on that. But that's just my take on it, man. I was hoping to get some like Tank people in here. I want to hear their, because I'm telling you, man, I try to keep it real on all fighters. You know, if you guys saw the video with Showbiz, he was really dancing around, not trying to offend anything or have any takeaways on the Tank fight. He was really dancing around it, but that's not the route I want to go. I want to have conversation and really pick at the brain of these people. You know, the truth ain't always pleasant. Let's just say that. Oh, Benavidez pay-per-view numbers. Last I heard, it was confirmed it was under 70,000, but I don't know, to be honest with you guys. I do not know. And the reason I don't know, man, is because it was thrown off. You know, when he did the post-fight interview, he said they sold out the arena as well. And a few of you guys, you know, told me that a couple of you guys were at the fight and said that they had whole rows covered and a lot of empty seats. Jonathan, you know, I don't know if it's that he's a Tank lover or that he just has a huge Tank following and he doesn't want to upset them. Servicero, I agree 100%, bro. I agree 100%. Which is cool, Servicero, which is cool, right? I mean, if you have a backstory, you're gonna applaud that you came from rags to riches. You applaud that. That's cool. That's amazing. But you know, it's not a rap song. You know, your story does not elevate you as far as rankings go. If that was the case, then we'd have to go do a deep dive into every boxer's, you know, sad coming up story, and we'll have to put them at a certain level. I mean, one does not. You got to separate the two. The Martin says, why is Benavidez pay-per-view numbers being criticized so heavily when the Crawford Madrigal fight was so stacked and rumored to have done less than 100,000? Joseph Guzman, Tank is a draw. He's like Canelo. Use the name and they will come. Yeah, Joseph, I get that for sure. You know, I get that for sure. But what I'm saying is that if you look at Canelo's resume compared to Tank, you can not even make an argument, but it's in clear sight that Canelo has a resume and he took fights that were tough fights. You know, Tank has not yet done that. Jonathan says, bro, I live in the Bay. I hope that Tio Alcatraz happens. It's going to be, oh, yeah, I heard about that. That's pretty dope. Showbiz never liked Tank. He always used to criticize him. Now he's nicer, low key. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Showbiz is he just has a huge Tank following. One time I seen Showbiz make a video talking about that Tank is upset and mad in interviews because he's like a cage lion looking to fight the best. And I'm like, bro, that's not true. That's not true. Daisy Sanchez says, Benavidez and Crawford had Pitbull Cruz, a popular fighter, in their undercard. I'm telling you, man, and this is the thing, man. And again, like Tank Davis, he has his following, like I touched on earlier. You know, people like his story. People like him. You know, they look up to Tank in a sense. Forget boxing, they just look up to Tank. So a lot of people are just gonna watch him fight. Canelo, obviously, he has a resume and he just has that star power to him that you need in the sport. Now, David Benavidez and Crawford are both great fighters, but that does not mean that you carry that star power automatically. Yeah, Joseph, as of right now, Tank's gonna, you know, we're gonna look at his knockout record, but when we look at who he knocked out, and who he fought and who was available at the time for him to fight, it's definitely gonna work against his legacy, in my opinion. Yeah, Gilbert, I agree. Canelo is the face of the sport. Yeah. So, I really don't know why, Tank. Another thing, man, is that we don't know how much money Tank is making. And I think with the whole Turkish Al Sheikh, because it's kind of he talked about in that same interview about how all the fighters that went to that Ring Magazine event, they all got paid to be there, which, I mean, duh, right? I mean, you're going overseas to make an appearance at Ring Magazine, this and that, you're going to get paid for it. When he said that he just needed to get paid a little bit more for it, I'm like, well, bro, again, I hate to break it to you, Tank. I hate to break it to you, little Tank, but I mean, you're not the biggest draw there. You know what I'm saying? It could do without you. Adane Films, yeah, Tank does look up to Canelo, man. So much that it used to bother Floyd so much, man. It used to bother Floyd a lot that he looked up to Canelo. A lot of people don't know this, man. Did you know that when Tank fought Pitbull Cruz, he was actually planning on wearing no boxing, no life gloves? Chewy, what up, brother? He was actually planning on wearing no boxing, no life gloves, and Floyd Mayweather stopped that. That's why you see that in that fight, Tank's gloves wasn't matching with his attire. Yeah, man. And that's a for sure thing. But again, man, yeah, Floyd told him to take it off. What was I gonna get at right now, man? I just had a brain fart, squirrel moment, man. Damn it, I forgot. I'll remember it here in a bit. Oh, that's what I was getting at. There must be some kind of hope because let me tell you something. If PBC loses Tank Davis, I mean they're already in the hole for so much money. If they lose Tank to Turkish Al Sheikh, PBC is as good as done, bro. Watching from Las Vegas, brother. Welcome. Cool undies. What's up, brother? Welcome. Yeah, man. So, but and Tank Davis also said on the same interview that he promised Al Heyman that he was going to retire. Um, I think it was this year. I don't know if he gave a clear answer, but that he was planning on retiring and that he promised Al Heyman, which, I mean, words are just words, right? Your actions speak louder than words. We know that he got Lamont Roach coming up here in a few weeks, but to retire again, man, I'm just saying it's cool. Go raise your kids, do what you got to do. God bless you, bro. But you put yourself where you're going to be remembered in the sport of boxing. Another thing, man, is I was reading in the comments section, right? And they were saying that Tank is so hated, and how could people hate Tank? Now, that kind of goes for any popular fighter nowadays. Unfortunately, you got people like Southpaw TV, right? Who, when he's talking about fighters, he's talking in a hateful way. Like he's talking about in a hateful way. In a lot of these comment sections, you see it too. They're attacking the fighter himself, not critiquing what he does in the ring or does not do in the ring, which when we critique what they do inside the ring, you know what I'm saying? Outside the ring, how they're moving business wise, it's one thing to give an opinion like, yo, you should fight this guy. How can we give him props for not fighting this guy and, avoiding this smoke or whatever? That's all fair. The second you start attacking them directly, calling them these certain names and all that, then they get hate. But that doesn't just happen to Tank Davis. That happens all along the line to popular fighters. Adonai Films, he might be doing what Floyd Mayweather did and come back. But the thing is, man, is that Tank has never he's never been one to challenge himself. I mean, he's just been at that weight class. Floyd Mayweather moved all the way up to 154. He jumped weight classes. He challenged himself, and Floyd is not a big dude either, but he took those steps, and this is why we're going to remember Floyd. Unfortunately for Floyd Mayweather, when he took on the name of Money Mayweather, he just kind of became a fighter that people wanted to watch lose. So it's really hard for people to give him his props. But if we take that hate away, if we take that shield, that shadow away, we'll see that Money Mayweather. I mean, that resume speaks for itself, yo. Servicero says Tank, Bud, and Benavidez are not pay-per-view stars. Let's be honest, no, they're not, man. All great fighters, man, but they're not pay-per-view stars. They need a solid dance partner in order to make an event happen. That's why this interview has got to help the Lamont Roach fight. I'm telling you, they got to amplify this one way or another. Gilbert, have a good one, brother. God bless, bro. Canelo sponsors Pitbull Cruise. All right. Oh man, Aztec. Thank you, good sir. I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you for the super chat, Aztec. Aztec, I've been wanting to go fill up my coffee, bro, but then you're gonna tell everyone to leave. That's super. Thank you, my man. I appreciate you, Aztec. Hey, yo, Aztec, is it cool to go get some coffee, bro? You're not gonna tell everyone to leave, my man? Yo, don't go nowhere. I'm gonna go get my cup of coffee. Give me 1 sec. Let's keep going with this one. Let's keep going with this one, man. What's up? What's the hold up here? Uh-ohs. Sorry, guys. I'm not sure what happened here. Yeah, y'all listen to Aztec. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. What's going on here? What is going on here? My bad, y'all. I can't see the chat right now. Y'all want to check out this coffee mug, though? It's going to take a lot of y'all back. Check this out. Y'all already know what it is, man. That's Space Jam, bro. Let's see what's going on here. Let me see. Oh, there we go. There we go. Kobe. Disco, what's up? My bad, y'all. I couldn't. Oh, yeah, man. All day, bro. All day. This was a Ross find right here, bro. My bad. I didn't see a lot of you guys' chat, man. I'm seeing it now. Oh, yeah, man. So, ideally, man, who do you guys want to see Tank Davis fight? Ideally, okay? And it doesn't gotta be any of the names that you know that's out there. Who do y'all want to see him fight? What up, Master? T.O. I like that. I like that. T.O. versus Tank. I like that. Keyshawn, all right. I think I would like to see Tank Davis fight Devin Haney. I think I would like to see that. Angel Fierro, the guy who fought Pitbull, man. Keyshawn or Abdullah? You know what's crazy, man, is that we named like 5 or 6 names right now, and those are all possibilities, and those are all right there right now. You know, and Tank is not old. He's only 30 years old, man. He's only 30 years old. I get that he said that he's been doing it since he was 7, but isn't that common in the world of boxing? All these dudes have been fighting since they were that little. Said if you send him, Simon, I'm going to send you. Yeah, send it, brother. Send it. Disco says Tank destroys every one of them in the same night. Hey, Disco, he doesn't think so, bro. Let me see. Mason Abdullah beat up my brother's friend. They train here in Stockton. Dope. Adonai Films, the 30, but hasn't accomplished. I mean, you know, he's accomplished like what we expect out of a prospect, you know what I'm saying, of a prospect, but to call him great, nah. The thing is, man, it's also, man, the boxing world has changed so much. Right now, we just look at a boxing record, and when we see, you know, 29 knockouts out of 30 fights, I mean, it's the Deontay Wilder effect, man. I remember way back, man. This is when this is before PBC. This is when Oscar De La Hoya had all these rosters, and Richard Schaefer kept signing all these guys to 1-fight deals, 2-fight deals, doing all the above, right? This is when Oscar just had everyone. Every event was under Golden Boy. Going back to that era, Danny Garcia. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Carlos, what's good, brother? Deontay Wilder, when you saw his record at that time, it was like 24-0 with 24 knockouts. And I remember at the time, this goes crazy. And I remember at the time, it was kind of unheard of. Like, what? This dude has knocked out every single one of his opponents, right? But then you start paying attention. And then you start looking at who he knocked out. Then it becomes like, okay, I see you knocked everybody out, but there was a lot of names around there at that time and you didn't knock them out. So we just named about 5 or 6 fighters that Tank Davis can fight, right? He can fight, but he's not fighting them, right? And again, I said this on a video I made. Is Tank afraid of Shakur Stevenson? I don't think he's scared of him. I personally think Tank beats Shakur, but we will not know. Aztecs, Disco, cut the cap. We all know the face of boxing is Clarissa Shields. He said he beat Rolly Romero, dude. Rolly is the best. Rolly Romero is freaking, he's the man when it comes to the press conferences. I'll tell you that, man. David Cardina, Schaefer backstabbed Oscar. Yeah, he did without Heyman. Yeah, oh, big time, bro, big time. It was almost like Richard Schaefer was kind of, building up PBC on the back end using Golden Boy to do so. Okay, so Crawford has one big fight and gets pound for pound. Meanwhile, Spence was washed due to car accident. He stayed at 130s forever. You know what, Joseph? I'm a big Terrence Crawford fan, but I gotta remain consistent. And I spoke about this in the past, and I agree with you on that one. I agree. Now, I think that Crawford beats Spence, in my opinion. I think that he beat Spence before or after the car accident. I just think stylistically he would have beat Spence. However, the fight with Spence, as of right now, if Terrence Bud Crawford retired today, okay, I would agree that every time we put him on the pound for pound list, every time that we did all of the above, it was due to him beating Spence. I got to keep it consistent. And yeah, we will remember that one fight. Now, there's a few good fights on his resume, but Spence is the only fight at that level. So I agree with you on that. Daisy says, it feels like Tank lost love for the sport and doesn't want to challenge himself. He just wants to make money, which is fine, Daisy. I mean, he could do that. He could damn sure do that. But it like I was saying, it does not put him at that level of a Floyd Mayweather or Sugar Ray Leonard, like he said. You know what I mean? That's what I said. You just cannot have it both ways, in my opinion. What do y'all think about the whole yeah, absolutely. What do y'all think about the whole, I just have to bring it up, the whole fruit salad that was sent to Keyshawn Davis? Y'all think it really happened, or y'all think it was cap? One thing that I did see, and I missed the live, I just got a notification for it, is that Teofimo Lopez, that was so funny. Teofimo Lopez did a live, and he named it Who Sent It? Of course, he could just be grabbing onto the idea and bringing, attention onto himself. Teofimo Lopez is he's a funny character like that. But I don't believe the story, man. It sounds good for a Hollywood script. It doesn't sound real to me, if you ask me. Hey, man, Servicetto, thank you, brother, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate the super chat, brother. He says, can't give fighters imagery based on feelings. I agree with you 100% on that, my brother. Thank you for that super chat, bro. There's no way a package gets that far big time. Yeah, there's no way, brother. There's no way it gets there. Tank could fight anyone, but when Canelo fights Score or you get Shields, Marquez, Bradley, Campaign, make that make sense. Yeah, it's kind of like you know how Showbiz he put that the title for the video when he says it shows why Tank avoided Devin Haney, but that was Canelo they were speaking about. If it was Canelo he was speaking about, it would have been ducked a fighter. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm just avoiding you, but I ducked you. They're two whole different things. I don't know why, man. It's when you're on top, that's just to be expected. Disco said, who cares? I would have sent a package back with top Russian vodka instead of crying. No, yeah. I mean, honestly, when the racism and all that got, thrown around and all that kind of stuff, it's like, okay, man, you're trying to bring attention to the fight. Which dude could fight, but I mean, they're trying to sell the fight. These dudes, and I'm not criticizing Keyshawn because he's only 14 fights in. I think he jumped on the record for getting a belt at 135, and he joined the likes of who is it? Oscar De La Hoya, Vasily Lomachenko, and another guy in doing so, which is big ups to Keyshawn Davis. But if these guys would just remain more active, if they would just remain more active and constantly be putting them out there for the people to watch them, they would build their name up. They would definitely build their name up. They gather the wrong following is the problem. They gather the wrong following. Just because these people are following you on a social media platform when you're out there doing your thing does not translate to them watching you in the ring. Ryan Garcia has a humongous following, but his is a humongous following between his IG TikToks or whatever, right? So a lot of those people do translate to watching him fight because he just has that star power for the sport of boxing. It doesn't work with everybody, okay? There's plenty of people I could follow on social media. Well, I guess it's different when you create content, but for the normal person, just because you follow them on social media does not mean that you're going to pay $80 to watch them fight inside of the ring. For those kind of fans, you got to keep on fighting. You got to stay busy, taking challenges, remain busy, like I said, and then you gather the following, then people want to watch you fight. But if it's just your following is just on social media, it's not going to translate into the ring. Yeah, absolutely. I agree, Pancho. Daisy says, the same as De La Hoya, first upset for Canelo not working with Turkish, and now he says, hey, that's a really good point, Daisy. That's a really good point. Damn it, how come I didn't think of that? Truth for Aztec, you're funny, man. Daisy, that is a good point, though. Once upon a time, he criticized Canelo for making the fight the same weekend as the Noche at the UFC event, and now he's saying that he bent the knee to Turkey. That is what you call a certified hater. Love Oscar De La Hoya as a fighter, but when it comes to Canelo, man, it's showing that he's jealous. You know what I'm saying? For what? Now, I get it. Oscar De La Hoya helped build Canelo Alvarez. There's no denying that. But, dude, give it a rest. Sam Gut says, I see less boxers trying to put in the work for legacy. They're just in it for paycheck is what it seems. Great point, Sam Gut. And that is what's killing the sport, in my opinion. And, fighters have spoken about that in the past. Floyd is one that said it in the past, that now these guys want a bag from the get-go. These guys want a bag. They want to be 9 fights in and headline a pay-per-view and make millions of dollars with one fight. But that's just not how it goes. Chase the legacy, right? And what happens when you chase the legacy? You're challenging yourself in the ring. You're fighting consistently. You're staying busy, right? You're staying out of trouble outside the ring. You're chasing legacy. And with chasing legacy, you gain the respect of fight fans that are actually going to go to your events. They're going to pay to watch you fight. You know what I'm saying? Good point. Oh, he sure did, bro. He sure did play Jake Paul in that, bro. Oh, my gosh. Oh, yeah, Servicero. I remember that when he said that no one's going to come to the U.S. and take over his sport, such and such, and all of a sudden you got them holding hands at the event. Yeah, I remember that. So you know what? Let's talk about that one, David Cadena, man. You made a point there. Let's talk about it, man. Do you think that these guys are more concerned with their O, like taking the loss, or they're only concerned with their O because they think it's going to hurt their stock and making $1 million fights? What do you guys think? Because great fighters have lost fights. It doesn't, you know, if you lose a fight, it doesn't take you away, you know, from being that guy. All the greats lost fights. It's what happens. Is it their O that they're protecting, or is it that they feel like their O is going to take them out of the big name fights? What do y'all think on that? Daisy said, let me see. Real Talk Combat Sports. Without the O, they don't feel special. They don't feel like they're the best. Which is sad because I mean, you would assume that these guys looked up to the fighters that came before them, right? I mean, and you look at their records and they got O's. I mean, it's just what happens. You know what? The fans, though. Let's talk about this one, man. Let's talk about this one, man. It's I think us, the fans, have a lot to do with it because just like a lot of times fans just look at records and it could work for good, it could work for bad. Like I was saying earlier, Deontay Wilder, when he was on the come up, a casual fan just looks at a record and they see 25 wins, 0 losses, 25 knockouts. The casual fan doesn't care who they fought. They don't care about none of that. They just see this guy's never been beat and he's knocked out everybody, right? When they look at a fighter and let's just say, oh, he's, 20-1 with 13 knockouts. They're like, oh, well, he didn't knock out 7 guys and he lost already. You know what I'm saying? And then the fan kind of loses interest in that person. So I could guess that we're kind of to blame a little bit. Not us per se. I'm talking about the community of boxing. Yo, Aztec, dude, look, listen. Gabe Rosado is a perfect example. When you look at Gabe's record, Gabe Rosado, if I'm not mistaken, has like 13, 14 losses on his resume. Somehow, if Gabe Rosado fought tonight, we would all be watching it because he kept fighting, he kept challenging himself. He's a warrior, and we respected that, right? He could literally do a comeback fight tomorrow. We're all going to be watching it, right? Really good point you made. Ronald, I don't think boxers are afraid to fight. They are afraid of losing. An example is Canelo being afraid of losing to Benavidez. Ronald, I don't think that he's scared of losing to Benavidez, but I know what you're saying, brother. I know what you're saying. And the reason I say that, man, is because Canelo lost to Bivol and it did not hurt his stock at all. Let me see, David. Keith Thurman comes to mind. Couldn't get a title shot versus Crawford or Spence. The thing with Keith Thurman, man, is that he just took too many layoffs, bro. Keith Thurman, let me tell y'all something. Keith Thurman, he was never the same after the Manny Pacquiao fight. He was never the same fighter after the Manny Pacquiao fight. That took a lot from him. And the nerve of PBC putting Keith Thurman as a return fight against Mario Barrios, I believe it was, on a pay-per-view was just straight nonsense. Canelo has taken 2 L's and just signed the most lucrative fight deal in boxing history. David isn't a factor in Canelo's career. Yeah, I agree. It's crazy, yo. What's crazy is that Canelo doesn't look that way. It doesn't seem like the part, but they're so smart how they maneuver themselves into a 4-fight deal and use Jake Paul to his advantage. Eddie Cents, 83. What's good, bro? Yeah, Thurman, once upon a time, man, Keith Thurman was a promising fighter, man. But I'm telling you, man, after Pac-Man, He was so confident that he was going to go in there and destroy Pac-Man. And we saw what happened, man. It's hard to, I'm telling you, man, there's some losses that fighters take that it's hard to recover from. Going back to, I mean, Fernando Vargas against Tito Trinidad. We have not seen Spence back in the ring after Terrence Crawford. Now, I get it. I get it. He was supposed to fight Fedora, and then he says, I'll come back when I think I'm ready and this and that. Morrell lost, get over it. Biggest Benavidez hater there is, and you picked Morrell to win. Nice try, buddy. I did pick Morrell to win, bro, and then I gave David Benavidez his props for beating David Morrell. You got to get him wrong somehow, bro. It's how I saw the fight. You got to remember that, bro. I look at the fights, Morrell lost, whatever your name is, how I saw the styles clashing. I picked him to win. How is that? See, okay, that's a perfect example. Let's get back to this. Morrell lost, get over it. This is a perfect example. If you pick someone to beat another fighter, does not automatically got to put that you hate the other fighter. As boxing fans, damn it, could we be less sensitive? Could we be less sensitive? If I pick, that is crazy. That is crazy. Dude, that's beyond me. You know what I'm saying? That's beyond me. So, hey, to David Morrell lost, get over it. If you're still in here, I got a question for you, bro. Who are you picking in the Canelo Skull fight? Who are you picking to win? Damn, my brother, I respect your opinion, man, but that was just, what? I'm a hater because I picked one guy to beat the other guy? California Thuggin, what up, bro? Wow. Abraham, what's good? What's good? Come on, man. Speak about it, man. I love these type of conversations, bro. Adonai Film, you better believe it. I made a whole video on that. That is wild. I'm trying to think of upcoming fights and who I think is gonna win. Dog. Daisy, what I think of Munguia's rematch on Canelo's undercard? I think it's great. I think it's great. It gets to showcase what he's been learning in the Canelo camp. I mean, what better place to put the fight at, Morrell lost, get over it. Are you still in here, bro? Yeah, Joseph, yeah, amen, amen. Let me see. Real Talk says, who do I got in the Better BF Bivol rematch? I got Better BF because I hate Bivol and I'm a Bivol hater. No, Real Talk, I'm just making a joke. I'm wondering if that Morrell dude is still in here. In the first fight, I picked Bivol to win that fight. Once I saw the fight happen, I just realized that Bivol does not have the pop to keep a fighter like Better BF off of him or to even make him respect him. Therefore, he's going to keep coming forward. And Bivol, that's just how Bivol fights. I know he said that in this fight, he's going to throw more punches. He's going to do all that. At this stage of his career against an Artur Beterbiev, who's a damn tractor trait just coming forward, it's hard to see him doing anything different, right? The first fight, I picked Bivol to win, but the second fight, I think it's still going to be a really, really good fight, but I'm favoring Beterbiev going off of what I saw in the first fight. Yeah, I got Beterbiev going, man. Oh, wow, you think Beterbiev by TKO? Ronald is asking, what is a better fight, Skull versus Canelo or Benavidez versus Canelo? Oh man, obviously the better fight, the more fan-friendly fight, all of the above, would be a Canelo Benavidez. Bivol, yeah, Joseph, I had that thought right away, man, that he would come forward. But the thing is that Canelo actually had the pop to make to make Triple G respect him. The question is, does Bivol have that type of pop to make Beterbiev respect him? You know, if he starts moving again, you know, kind of going back to what you know of, he starts moving again inside that ring, he's going to end up getting, you know, tired in the championship rounds like he did the last fight. It's just a lot to ask of a fighter. Oh man, Servicetto, thank you, brother. I appreciate the super chat, my man. Thank you, good sir. The fact that Morel wobbled Benavidez says you weren't off with your pick, Martin. These guys are too emotional by their logic. Canelo won't give David the payday, get over it and move on. You know, and that's one thing to remember, in that you got to dissect fights. You know what I'm saying? You can't go, the bigger name is going to beat this guy because of this. If you dive deeper into fights, yeah, sometimes you get them wrong, but you're able to make certain calls and see certain things that certain boxing fans, because they look at just, you know, the popularity contest of it, won't see. When I saw what each fighter brings to the table, you know, the stuff that gives Benavidez trouble, the stuff that gives Morel trouble, if you saw that fight, at no point did Benavidez wobble Morel. He won a clear victory. He beat Morel. It was you can't dispute that, who won that fight. Clear victory on the end of Benavidez, and, you know, I applaud him for that win. But Morel did wobble Benavidez. Now, it doesn't matter. He took that fight. They made the fight. The experience, we got to throw it out the window because both parties agreed. But a more experienced Morel, I would, like I said, I'd love to see that fight down the line. But to Servicetto's point, just because I pick one fighter against another does not mean I hate the other fighter. You know, one thing that I've made really clear on my channel is that when I'm seeing two guys fight, I don't really root for one fighter. I like to make a pick, and I hate being wrong. I'll give you that, right? And sometimes I can't front. I make a video, and it's like, damn it, now I got to make a video not explaining why I was wrong, but pretty much that I was wrong, and this is how I saw the fight. But I'm a fan of the sport more than I'm a fan of any fighter, okay? If it makes y'all feel better, my favorite fighter is retired anyway, right? Maybe then the bias will kick in. But I'm a fan of the sport. I like seeing matchups collide, and I like picking the winner off of that. That's how I view the sport of boxing, okay? Not necessarily, I'm rooting for this guy, I'm rooting for this guy. No, it's a clash of styles, y'all, and I like to pick the right guy. That's all there is to it. Servicetto, thanks again for that, my brother. Yeah. What's funny about that, real talk, the part that, and this is when we got to keep it real. If I'm not mistaken, on the post-fight, and I don't know if Morel is still in here, in the post-fight, Benavidez said he didn't get hit that much, which it was clear that he did. Eddie Sense, who was my favorite fighter? Oh, man, you're going to get them talking, Eddie. It's all good, man. I like hearing it. Andre Ward, bro, that's my favorite fighter. Andre Ward is my guy. I know it catches everyone by surprise when I say that Andre Ward is my personal favorite all-time fighter. I'm not saying he's the greatest of all time, but that's just my guy. I don't agree with a lot of his commentary and what he says as an analyst and all of that, you know what I mean? But let me see. Boxing Dude 99. I think Canelo will fight Benavidez eventually. He knows it's a risky fight. He wants the most money if he takes on David. We'll see, man. We saw TBE boxing was good, bro. Yeah, the Mexican G, a lot of people have that opinion on it, bro. And again, man, as of right now, we only know 2 fights that are happening under this 4-fight deal with Turkish Al-Sheikh. We know that on this fight next week, at the card next week, what's his name? David Benavidez is supposed to be there along with a lot of other fighters, man. So there's only 2 fights made in this 4-fight deal. Obviously, William Skull being first, Terence Crawford in September. Obviously, we know that Canelo is chasing the Bivol rematch, which he doesn't get credit for. But there's still 2 fights left on the table. We'll see what happens. David Cardina, Julio Cesar Chavez is one of my favorites alongside with Miguel Cotto. Those 2 great picks, bro. Yeah, a real talk combat. Yeah, it would have just been better to say, no, man, this guy could punch. This guy hit me more than I've been hit. There's no shame in that. There is absolutely no shame in that. The Mexican G, I got Benavidez beating Canelo. Canelo is older and slower. I agree, man. He is definitely getting older. Stylistically, I still think Canelo gets him, but we'll see, man. Hopefully we see it one day. Let me see. Servicero. Begavides is already ducking Benavides and Babol. They don't want to mention that part. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that, bro. We'll definitely see what happens. There's going to be a lot to tell here coming forward, man. A lot to tell. I've also heard Benavides talking about moving up to cruiserweight, which is like, bro, one step at a time, one step at a time. Let me see. Benavides has a lot of flaws, but I believe fighting Canelo will bring out the best version of himself. Yeah, challenging yourself will do that. I heard Turkey was in fact open to a trilogy if Bivol won. Oh yeah, if Bivol wins, he definitely wants to make that third fight. Absolutely. It'd be huge money, bro. Oh yeah. All right, anyway, fellas, I'm going to wrap it up now, man, because obviously I'm a daddy too, and I got my princess that just woke up. Want to say hi really quick? All right, just going to say hi to my princess woke up. She's right here.
Hi.
This is my daughter, Aviana. If y'all can say what's up really quick. Say good morning.
Good morning.
All right, sit down. There's just a button under there. Daisy said hi to you, baby girl. Daisy Sanchez says hi to you. Look at they're all saying hi and good morning. They say you look just like daddy. I'm going to tell your mama. Thank you guys for saying hi to my princes, y'all. So I'm going to keep it moving, man. Y'all have a good one, man. God bless y'all. Enjoy your families. Those of you going to work, have a good day at work. All of the above. I will speak to y'all soon. Much love. God bless y'all. Thank y'all for stopping by, man. I appreciate you guys, man. Peace. Oh, you got a lot of people that said good morning to you, baby.